she's got like COVID hair. It's like, I haven't washed my hair in like 6 months. I never see anybody. I just stick it in a ponytail when I have to Zoom.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my world where no matter how old you get, you never need to grow up. And today we're going to talk about something fun, but something serious, and take a look at a really nice collector's level action figure of the Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda Maximoff. This is from Disney's new Marvel collectors thing that they're doing in the Disney Store or Disney Store online. She was $44.99, and it says, in collaboration with Marvel Studios, the Disney Store is proud to introduce the Marvel Special Edition action dolls. This exclusive series captures our superheroes in incredible detail, inspired by the groundbreaking films and the MCU. Okay, so Scarlet Witch is a powerful telepath, blah, blah, blah. She can levitate, yada, 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 yada. So, we're going to open her up. I am going to take her out of the box. She's like super articulated. I think they said it's 22 points of articulation. Here you can see the back of the box. I really dislike this artwork intensely. I don't even think that looks like Elizabeth Olsen. Really, it doesn't. That's just strange. I don't know who that is. That's like Elizabeth Olsen's stand-in. It doesn't really look like her. But I think the doll does a pretty good job of looking like her. So, it's for ages 3 and up. I don't know how many of you had your 3-year-olds sit down and watch WandaVision with you. So I finally sat down and watched WandaVision. I wanted to wait until the whole show was done. I just wanted to binge it straight through, which I did last weekend, finally. I was waiting for my husband, and he just wasn't getting around to it, so I was finally like, I'm gonna watch it without you! And I will probably rewatch it with him, because I just think it was so good. So good. And it was hard because, you know, when they first showed us, like, some promos of WandaVision, I think I was very confused, you know, because it starts like that 1950s, you know, I Love Lucy, Leave It to Beaver, or actually it's very much Dick Van Dyke Show, and you're kind of like, what is this going to be? I don't understand what this is going to be. And so, by the way, there's going to be lots of spoilers. Many, many spoilers. So I will try to remember to put that in the title. But if you have not watched WandaVision yet and you don't want to be spoiled, stop watching this video now. Just stop. 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 So what it is, and this is the spoiler, we're gonna start with the spoiler, is in her grief, you know, I mean, Wanda's kind of young, and she's kind of looks older in the show, but Wanda's still fairly young. I would imagine that in the MCU, Wanda is still in her, like, early 20s, because she and her brother were kind of teenagers, but the actors were a little bit on the older side, but they, you know, so... now, by the way, everything I know about Marvel, I know from the movies. I don't read comic books, so I'm going just from the movies, okay? Why is this so hard to get out of the box? Wanda, work with me! So, but her character has been through so much. It's not just the loss of vision. When you think of what she has been through since we met her, and what she endured before that. So she, you know, her parents get killed right in front of her and her brother. Then she and her brother decide to, like, okay, well, we want to help, so they go and they go work with Hydra, and then they get experimented on, and, you know, probably wasn't what they were expecting, and so that, you know, they enhance her kind of abilities that maybe would have just sort of fizzled out on their own, if they had not been you know, nurtured by the testing and experimentation that was done by the good people at Hydra. But then, you know, when we first meet her in Ultron, which is a movie that, it's like, there's a lot of really important stuff that happens in Ultron, but I also don't like Ultron. So I think that's one of the Marvel movies that just, you know, I think a lot of people feel that way. It's like, if you're rewatching, you all right, I have to watch Ultron. But at the same time, you're like, I have to rewatch Ultron. I don't like the character of Ultron. I don't like the overall plot of Ultron. But we do meet Wanda and her brother, Pietro, and her brother passes away when he gets killed. And so she loses him. Okay, so she's lost her parents, and then she loses the only other person that has been with her in life and who has any significance to her at all is her brother. And then she starts building a life and a new family with the Avengers. And then the stuff that goes down where, you know, she makes the accident that, you know, she accidentally, because of, you know, still learning how to use her powers, and she makes a mistake and like a whole bunch of people died because of it. And then that leads us to the Sokovia Accords and all that stuff. And then basically, you know, Tony's like holding her hostage and but you know, oh, it's, you know, for your own safety. But so through this, what we start to see the beginnings of some feelings happening between Vision and Wanda in Civil War, and then we definitely see it in Infinity War. Very, very much so. Very, very much so. And then, you know, she loses Vision. And Vision isn't like snap dead. Vision's dead. Vision is like Natasha. Vision's not coming back. There's no way to It's kind of like Gamora, although we found a loophole for Gamora. Can we not go back in time and find a loophole for Natasha? But whatever. So she's just kind of opened herself up to care and love someone again, and she loses them. And it's just all too much. And everything, and the fighting, and I just think, you know, everything was just way too much. Just way too much. And so, you know, her grief explodes, and if you're a person who happens to have incredible superpowers, like Wanda's, where you can transform reality, well, you end up with the show WandaVision. And there were so many like fun things about WandaVision. Like, I like how each episode was a different. Okay, here we go. Okay, her hair needs some serious help. Was a different era in television. From the early black and white days to then, you know, color television. And then you saw, what I thought was really interesting was you kind of saw how women's lives changed over the course of those decades through the way the TV shows were. And then this hair is just jacked, man. That's let's see if we can do something with this hair. So I thought that was really, that was fun. It was fun to watch, you know, sort of the same couple through each decade. And then also the other thing that was cool, oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to need some warm water and love, because now it looks like this. $44? Really, Disney Store? Really? Really? Come on. You could have done better. You could have done better with the hair. The hair feels really cheap too, by the way. I don't know much about hair, but I know this does not feel like good doll hair. This is disappointing. This is very disappointing. Oh, and there's like a lot of gel in it, so now I'm getting gel dandruff. I think if I wet it, and it'll calm down, but ugh, yuck. I'm gonna have to. Maybe I can pay Caden to do it for me. So yeah, it was really interesting to watch the changing roles of women, and so, you know, in each episode. But then it was also interesting, I think, to see the different styles, like how TV shows changed, and how we ended up, you know, with the last kind of TV episode, where we ended up with that Modern Family kind of it was called Breaking the Fourth Wall, I think, confessional style show. And we went from in the early days of black and white television, to people not talking about their feelings and acting like everything was perfect, to Wanda playing a mom, in the 2020s here, who is just like I can't deal. I can't deal. She's a mess. Her hair is a mess. The house is a mess. She can't take care of the kids. And she's able to admit that. And she doesn't have to be perfect. And she's able to say that she's struggling and that she just can't anymore and that it all feels like too much. Like, I just thought that it just showed how far we have come as people. And I know sometimes in America, it feels like we have so far to go. But I think when I see something like that, it shows me how far we've come. That we would have never, even a decade ago, we would not have talked about mental health issues and depression and different mental health things like bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, ADHD, OCD, just so many. They have all these acronyms. People wouldn't talk about them. They just wouldn't talk about it. And they certainly wouldn't talk about it in terms of themselves. We weren't talking about it at all. And now we're talking about it and talking about it and being able to admit that things aren't perfect and not stuffing down feelings anymore and pretending that everything is okay is such a hugely important thing about evolving as a human soul. And I think that the only way for us to become more compassionate, good humans is for us to have that vulnerability, to let it show, to share the things that are broken and that don't work for us, and to support each other, with love and care, and understand that everybody struggles. And I think if we keep doing that, if we keep going on that path, that we can be the people that I know that human beings are capable of being. So it was really cool to watch that evolution. Now, so that's the part that I thought was cool. Let's take a look at the doll. Oh, the hair is just, it's a big miss for me. I mean, she's got like COVID hair. It's like, I haven't washed my hair in like 6 months. I never see anybody. I just stick it in a ponytail when I have to Zoom. Her face is, I think the eyes are really good. I think the eyes are very Elizabeth Olsen, and when I angle her at this angle, I'm definitely getting Elizabeth Olsen, but when we go full on face, I'm actually getting Catherine Walsh from Private Practice more than I'm getting Elizabeth Olsen. Does anybody else see that? Yeah. She was on Private Practice and Grey's Anatomy, but from the side, there's definitely Elizabeth Olsen feeling. Her outfit it's not molded on. This could be removed, but this is like rubber plastic. And then there's still kajinkers. So many kajinkers. I don't know what I just knocked over. I knocked over the doll hairbrush. And I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm losing it. Okay, here we go. Snip, snip, snippity, snip. Okay. All right. So this is her cape. So the cape feels like pretty nice fabric. It's thick. It feels pretty good. The under cape skirt part of the outfit is really pretty and sparkly. I just wish this were made out of something that didn't look like plastic. Like maybe it looked more like leather, like more like what she was wearing in the show, because this is just very rubber plastic. And okay, it's an action figure and it's probably not meant for kids, but if it's $44.99, is it really an action figure meant for little kids? I ask. Articulation, super articulated. There's even a little twisty joint on the shoulder there. Articulated in the hands, which of course is very important if we're going to do our Scarlet Witch
stuff, and I love that they did do her fingers in the kind of, you know, Wanda kind of, and it's interesting because I read an article, or I think it was when Civil War came out, or no, when Ultron came out, that the hand motions was a creation of Elizabeth Olsen's, that, you know, she worked on with the director, like what is this? What does it look like? And I think it's become such a signature move. Like, I'm not doing it right. It's just, I really, really like it. It's very, it feels really organic. It feels very real. Her pants are fabric, and then her boots are cool. I like that they're not super high heels because that's one thing that I really like with the Marvel superhero women. They're not like, you know, when they suit up, they're not wearing high heels because that would be silly. And let's see, her head, good range of motion on the head. I think this is a really good action figure. Yeah, she can, you know, she can kick, she can fly. Can you fly? I can fly. I believe I can fly. Yeah, I'm not loving the face, I'm not loving the hair, and I do wish that there was something different going on with this part up here. But, so the other thing that I think was so moving about the story is that, like, you know, once you start to understand what Wanda's done, and, you know, I think especially, I mean, this was planned before COVID, but I think so many people have lost things and people. We've lost people. We've lost pieces of our lives. We've lost a year or more of our lives. I think that it was a really good time for this to come out because I think, you know, collectively the world is grieving. And so exploring grief and what grief can do to us at its very worst, and how we can work through that. Now, Wanda works through it in a very uniquely Scarlet Witch kind of way. But she is working through it. This is her working through her grief in a very unusual way. And I think we're all trying to figure out how to work through our grief. And anyone who's lost anyone, if you've lost a significant other or spouse, it's like losing a piece of yourself. I don't think I've ever talked about it on the channel before, but I was widowed when I was 27. It was 5 weeks after we got married. My husband was 38. He was older than I was, and we didn't know that he had a congenital heart defect. He never knew that. And he had a massive heart attack, and he died. Just like that. And we'd been together for like 3 years when we got married. And there's just this, like, when you choose to commit your life to someone, whether married or is partnership, or, you know, you're in a committed relationship with somebody, there's this you kind of tie your souls together. And when that person is no more, it's the missing, you know, there's the missing of them and the loss of them, but then there's also the loss of your own identity, because you entangle your identity with that other person's identity, and you become you become WandaVision, right? It was Wanda and Vision. It was WandaVision, and Vision's gone. So now Wanda has to figure out who Wanda is without Vision. Like, who is Wanda without Vision? Who is Wanda after Vision? Who is Wanda after that loss? How does Wanda move forward? And I think it just really is. I love when science fiction gives us the opportunity, because that's what science fiction does. It gives us the opportunity to ask these questions in really unique ways, and in ways that give us just enough separation from the heartbreak and the reality for us to explore those concepts without completely falling apart. And I just think it's so amazing. And then there's the quote that, of course, has been everywhere from the show, and it's Vision saying to Wanda, "I've never experienced loss because I have never had a loved one to lose. But what is grief if not love persevering?" I think that's really beautiful. And I think that is it. It's like you still love that person. The love keeps going, even though they're just not there to physically, or I don't know, they're not there to receive it in the same way anymore. So I think if you haven't watched the show, if you're not really into Marvel, or you're like, this show looks weird, watch it. It's so many things. It is so many things. It is so many levels of social commentary, of emotional catharsis. Oh, she has a hood too. Yes, that's right, because she does have a hood at the end of the show. I'm shoving the bad hair into the hood now. We're just going to put the bad hair into the hood. There's comedy in there. There's a lot. There's an interesting character in there that comes to us from the Captain Marvel days, and so it was really good to see her. And I think it's just really good. So if you've been not wanting to see it because you don't think you're gonna like it, just trust me. Just like get through the first 3 episodes so you can kind of get the feel of what's going on, and then you're gonna be hooked. Totally hooked. I also highly recommend Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I want to find some action figures or dolls. So, but I haven't seen any really good ones yet. I hope they have better hair than this. So we can talk about that as well. But yeah. So anyway, highly recommend the show. I definitely want to watch it again with my husband. And Sweet Willie, my late husband, has probably already seen it up in heaven. And it was just really good. So this was a strange review for me, but wow. I mean, she definitely articulated, it's an action figure. I'm just annoyed. For $44.99, I want better hair, and I want this to be leather, not plastic. Or pleather, not real leather. But you know what I'm saying, right? Right? Yeah. So that's my take. Let me know what you think in the comments about this, if you've gotten this or not. If you're happy with it, if you're not happy with it, what you thought about WandaVision. And yeah, that's my story for today. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I do hope you have a really great day. Love you. Bye.